and welcome to episode 11 of the Lottie and Albert podcast. My name is Lindsey and welcome to my podcast all about crochet. This is, episode 11, so a very warm welcome to anybody who's viewing for the first time, but also a big hello to anybody who is a returning viewer. This is a podcast all about crochet. If you haven't watched before, I'm going to be talking about works in progress, finished objects and new things, which this week is quite a lot because I've been to Yarndale. I am Lottie and Albert all across the internet. If you want to check me out, I'm most active on Instagram. You can also find me on Etsy for patterns and Ravelry for the group chat for this podcast. How have you all been? It doesn't really feel like it's been 2 weeks since I last filmed. I spent all of last weekend at Yarndale, which, if you haven't heard of it, is a UK yarn festival. Essentially, it's a very big excuse to buy yarn. It takes place in Skipton in North Yorkshire, and what year is it in? In about its 5th year. I'll find out and let you know properly at the bottom of the screen. Maybe you can correct me if you know differently. But yeah, it's hosted in what is essentially a sort of agricultural working building, where they normally have the cattle shows. Auctions. Anyway, the auction market. And they clear out all of the stalls and all of the space, and instead all sorts of wonderful fibre folk come and fill the spaces. I'm really tired this morning, I don't know why. Here's the brochure. Every year they have a little sheep in a different outfit, essentially, as their logo. So this year it was the grannies, you can see here. This little granny coat, isn't that sweet? Oh, and look. See you at Yarndale next year. If anybody wants to go, I'm not like a sponsor or anything, but it's next year. It's Saturday 29th of September and Sunday the 30th of September. I definitely recommend it. I mean, Skipton, it's hard to get to, right? If you're anywhere south of the Midlands, it takes a while, but it was worth it and it was really fun. I went up with a group of girls and we booked into a Airbnb. And it was people that I hadn't met before. I knew one friend from real life, my friend Jan, and everybody else was the girls that I talked to quite a bit on Instagram. So it was really nice to meet them in real life. I'm really sorry, I've got an alert that's popped up on my phone. It was so lovely to meet in person a lot of the people you talk to on Instagram, and I think that was really nice for me because quite often a lot of what I do is online and through social media. So to be able to meet in person and actually enjoy people's company, I think that's a really nice outcome of having talked to people on Instagram. Social media quite often gets a bad rap, and I understand and I can see why. And you don't want to just be living a filtered life or feeling bad because everybody else is living a fantastic filtered life and you're not. But equally, I genuinely think the craft community on Instagram is a great thing, and people are as lovely in real life as they are online. I can confirm. So that was really nice. I'm going to show you my yarn haul from Yarndale. But first I have one finished object that I'm going to show you, and for some reason I've tucked it underneath a giant ball of yarn, so bear with me. That was helpful. I have made and finished another Lottie and Albert rainbow blanket with all the pom-poms. I know lots of you have seen these before, lots of you have made one before. I had actually started this last episode, but for some reason I just forgot to show it. So here it is. This is just a baby-sized one. So this uses 6 balls of DK, and that's it, and a 20mm hook. So the colours that you can see on the bottom are the colours that are in the blanket, and I hold them 6 strands together and work them with a 20mm hook. There is a very basic sort of stitch pattern for this on my blog. There is also on my Etsy page a fully worked up pattern for 5 different cushion sizes and 5 blanket sizes with all the yarn requirements, yarn, and photo tutorials. So if you fancy making one, check it out. If not, you can just admire all these pom-poms for a moment. So many pom-poms. I actually used a slightly smaller size for this blanket. I still think it looks really cute. And these work up so quickly. My favourite thing to do. So yeah, this is actually, somebody asked me to make this quite a long time ago. A sort of friend of a friend. And I promised I would, and it's taken me embarrassingly long considering how quick they are once you get going. But it's a finished object, yay! It's the only one. That's the only finished object you've got today, so enjoy it. I call this a sort of baby blanket size, though obviously I realise it's quite chunky and fairly holey, so for tiny babies, you know, maybe use as a play mat or whatnot, but ta-da! Here it is. Lottie and Albert rainbow blanket. I feel like maybe we should just end here on this high. One finished object, Lottie and Albert rainbow blanket. It would look quite nice on that radiator, doesn't it? I'll get it back on now. I really need to get some kind of radiator cover or something for this. It's not the most attractive backdrop. Sorry about that, guys. Shall I just show you what I bought, or shall I show you my whips? I'm gonna show you what I bought first. So I went to Yarndale, and on my shopping list was sock blockers, a blocking board, a Swift, a yarn Swift. I wanted some Christmas sock yarn, and I wanted some hand-dyed yarn from Sarah from Annaboo's house. I sort of got those things. I also got a lot more. Before I show you my yarn haul, I wanted to mention what I'm wearing, which is a beautiful crochet puff necklace. I think she's calling it. I've written it down. Crochet puff necklace sent to me by the gorgeous Sherry of Lottie and Bella. This is a pattern she's recently written up, and she's very kindly sent me one to try out. Isn't it fun? I'll show it you in full. Here it is. Very long chain of these beautiful puffs, which can be worn as a necklace or almost. It's so squishy and chunky. We'll keep going. I did have it round how many times? It's almost like a little structural snood. Isn't that fun? You'll also know I got my hair chopped for my new job on Monday. It needed it. Although, does anybody else get this? I got one side that goes under, one side that goes out. And whenever I get a bob, I always remember. Never mind. We'll work around it. Stick it in. So yes, that is the crochet puff necklace from Lottie and Bella. Check out her page. I'll put all the links to everything I talk about below if you fancy making one yourself or having a look at what else she's got. She's got a really amazing account full of wonderful things. So without further ado, I'll show you what I bought at Yarndale. I was not restrained, just so you know that going into this. I went with, one of the girls I went with was Kate from Lana Boo Shop. It was a Lana Boo Crochet then, Lana Boo Shop. And she made us these amazing goodie bags. So before I even got to the place, I already had crochet goodness. Team Crochet, and she also included, this is their packaging, it's all really cute. Look at this. that the wrong way up? No, that's the right way up. There's always time for crochet. Really cute little bag and a pin, which I wore, obviously, on the day. That just says crocheter. What's wrong with me today? She's also got little pins with Team Crochet on, which some of the other girls in our group had. Cute little postcards, which if you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen making an appearance in my photos. That was such a toddler smile. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a little taster of some of the other things she has on her page. So much goodness. She does really nice badges and pins. And I also got these cute little, maybe you can see, little jazzy stitch markers. Don't mind me, drop my pin. So yeah, a goodie bag in the car before it even got there. And my friend Jen, of Just Little Jen, made us all hair clips. How sweet is that? Her packaging and handwriting and everything is so nice. Yarndale 2017. Handmade by Just Little Jen. We all had different little colours we could choose from. Oh, I've just noticed. It's all tying in rather nicely. Yeah, I could have stopped there really. That was enough. That was enough goodies. Obviously I didn't. I think I might have been the first in our group to spend money. It was basically just burning a hole in my pocket. One of the first stores that we came across was Hand Dyed by Kate. And I found the most gorgeous, look at this, yellow contrast and almost, what's the colourway called? Oh, it's called Cockatiel sock set. Cocktail? That's too much for me today, apparently. It's flecked with orange and yellow and grey, and is just beautiful. This isn't really my normal colourway. I say that. The yellow is just rubbing off. My daughter loves yellow. And apparently now so do I. The idea behind this set is that you make yourself some socks with contrasting toes and heels. Now this is 50 grams of the main yarn and 20 gram extra set. If you are a knitter, this is definitely enough. If you are a crocheter, you need to be careful what pattern you choose for this to make sure that you will have enough for socks. Now I know that I can get 3 socks with a shortish, what do you call that bit that's at the top of your sock? Leg part, shortish leg part, out of 100 grams. I have quite small feet, so I'm planning on making some sort of short little ankly, just above the ankle socks. I'm so sorry. With this, and then it should be enough yarn. Da-da-da. So pretty. Still, the theme is going well. It doesn't continue. That was the first thing I bought. As I said, I think my money was burning a hole in my pocket. We next went to the Woolly Mahoosive stand. Now, if you watched last episode or follow me on Instagram, you may know that I recently won a giveaway from Woolly Mahoosive. They specialise in giant yarns. Andrea of Woolly Mahoosive messaged me when she heard I was going to Yarndale, and she had watched the last episode, and she said 4 kilograms will definitely do you a throw if you are arm knitting, but if you are crocheting, you may need some more. So stop by and get some. So I did. So I've got another little 2-gram baby. And as I was holding it, I was stood next to Kate of Lana Boo Shop, who is about 8.5 months pregnant. And realised that I was holding my ball just like a bump. Yeah, we did get some funny shots. Maybe watch out to the end and I'll put one in. This was my bump for the day. So yeah, how exciting is that? I've now got 6 kilograms. Can definitely make myself a good throw out of that. So thank you so much to Andrea. And it was really nice to meet her in person as well. On her stall, she had Sarah of Annaboo's House, Chrissy of Chrissy Crafts, and Shana of Sweet Shana, doing a little meet and greet, and hand-dye yarns from Sarah of Annaboo's House. So these are minis in sock yarn. Are they 20 gram or 25 gram? Actually say, I think they are 20 grams. And I chose these 3. Aren't they pretty? I believe this one is dyed with avocado stones, of all things. And then these are, again, natural dyes. I think she forages some and then uses plant-based powder dyes for others. So pretty. This almost reminds me of a sort of vintage Christmas. I said it, I said the C word, vintage Christmas. There's more Christmas yarn coming, so just prepare yourself. And this ball is the same as this, but just rolled up. I've just hand rolled that. Don't know what I'm gonna make, but it's pretty. This isn't necessarily the order that I visited the stalls in, by the way, but I'm going to show you these next, then I'll show you all my sock yarn. I have mentioned Vicky Brown Designs before, Vicky's Brown on Instagram. She is one of my favourite yarn dyers and designers. She is, well, she doesn't only design crochet socks, but she has designed a lot of crochet sock patterns, which I have made and shown before. I knew that she quite often dyes Christmas yarn sets, so I headed to her stall looking specifically for some Christmas sock yarn, and she had a couple. She had some really nice yarn. It was her first time at Yarndale as a visitor and as a seller, and her stall was heaving the whole time, which was so nice to see. I couldn't choose one yarn, so I went for a set of minis. Got a dark green, we have a red, a dark red, so very sort of traditional, a minty green, a kind of variegated red, which all going very nicely, and then this one, which almost I think kind of pulls them all together. This has got, well, you can see reds, greens, all the way through it. Isn't it nice? This one is called Christmas Sprinkles. This one is called Holly Green. This one is Candy Cane. Of course it is. Sorry, I've just, oh no, look, I've just dropped one and knocked my table. Candy Cane. What else have we got? Berry Red. Very good names. Oh, and Ombre one. maybe just slightly lost the naming mojo on this one. Ombre one. Or maybe it was a one-off for the show. I don't know. I'm excited for Christmas now. Too soon? It's not too soon. These are going to be some kind of sock. 20 grams. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Have I dropped one? No. I've got 100 grams here. The only thing is I'm not sure. I need to maybe find the right pattern. Or maybe I just need to choose sort of 3 and do kind of cuffs, body and heels, or maybe like mix and match and have them all like a little bit intentionally mix. I'm literally thinking and not saying the words that I'm thinking. I need to work it out because obviously these are all single skeins, and if I'm going to make 2 socks, I need either 2 identical socks or 2 intentionally mismatched socks. So I either need to roll off half of each one and then roll another ball with the other halves so that they match. Is that making any sense to anybody? But yeah, Christmas yarn. Ugh, I'm so excited. So yeah, so far on my shopping list, I'm not doing very well, am I? Because I've only actually gotten one well, I said I wanted some Vicky Brown's Christmas yarn, and I said I wanted some Anna Boo's House hand-dyed yarn. And actually this pale green goes quite nicely with these too, doesn't it? But I didn't get sock blockers. I found some which were cute. I kind of wanted wooden ones. I found some bunny ones. I couldn't decide if they were cute or scary, and they were also quite expensive, so I thought, well, if I'm not sure, probably shouldn't. And then I found some really nice wooden ones, and they were only something £4, like super cheap, and they only had a size 6. I'm not a size 6, I've got like size 4 UK feet. I think that's size 36 in European terms, so quite small feet. Handy for sock making. So yeah, I didn't get sock blockers. I did get all of these beautiful sock yarns, and another one which I've already wound into a ball. I'm just going to rustle around and then show it you. I'm not going to show you what I've started making just yet, although you'll have seen on Instagram if you follow me there. I'm not sure what happened with my winder here. I think it gave up towards the end. This yarn is from Gamer Crafting, and it's called Lady Runicorn. I think Gamer Crafting base all of their yarns on characters from video games or, you know, online games, whatever. So they've got, I've seen before on their Etsy, I'm hoping this is right as I say it, I'm going to have to cut it if it's not. I've seen before on their Etsy really fun colourways based on sort of like the Mario series and what's the princess called in Mario, or on her anyway, and yeah, all sorts of different Pokemon ones. So maybe somebody can tell me who Lady Runicorn is. I don't know who she is, but I do know that this yarn is amazing. So most of the yarn is on my terrible camera, you can't see, basically just an off-white, but it has a sparkle through it. Can you see the sparkle? Maybe that will be better to focus on. It's got a sparkle through it. It's not focusing. Sorry. And then every now and again, got a little rainbow. So, actually just unravelling my project down there. You got white, 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 rainbow. So this looked really fun on the skein. I'll see if I can insert a picture. It almost doesn't look as impactful wound up, although obviously it is still pretty. And then I found in my stash, when I got home, I realised I had a mini of this rainbow yarn. I'll have to put the details in because I've forgotten who this is by. This actually arrived in my fibre share package that I did this time last year from Lydia of Bapple and JoJo UK. Honestly, maybe the video has never had a focus. There we are, you can just about see it now. All sorts of beautiful rainbow colours, and I just thought, perfect. This has already got a spark. This has already also got a sparkle through it. So I thought, what can I make where that's the main part and there's a contrasting section? Mittens or socks? And quite a few of you said mittens, quite a few of you on Instagram where I posted the question also said socks. Stay tuned for the socks, they're coming. I've made half a sock. So yeah, that was the sock yarn. I almost didn't buy this one. I left the store and I went back for it, and I said to my friend Jen, I was like, I'm just gonna have to go back and get it because I was like, I just need it in my life. I'm just delving deep into my bag of stash now. Vicky Brown was doing a little giveaway goodie bag for anybody who was wearing something made with her yarn. So I wore my Winter Wonder socks made with her Black Light yarn. They did not go with my outfit. I was like, I'll just shove them on really quickly. You know, you could see them because I was wearing like sort of ballet shoe things. I was like, I can get my goodie bag and then I can take them off afterwards. I totally forgot to take them off afterwards, so I walked around the whole of Yarndale with these socks on under my shoes. But hey, if you're going to do it anywhere, I think Yarndale is the place to do it. And Kate of Jellybean Junction brought her parallel bars shawl made using some Vicky Brown yarn as well. We should have got a photo with us wearing it. We got goodie bags. This is what was in the goodie bags. This is Vicky's sort of little logo. A mini minis game. This is a little 10-gram pinky superwash merino full ply sock yarn. Vicky Brown design. That's what I got. Also included in here a little temporary tattoo. Vicky does actually have, I think, something very similar to this as a tattoo on her wrist. You see it quite often in her shots, product shots of her holding the yarn. A little needle. What was a tapestry needle then? For weaving in ends. Ooh, a coupon code. Coupon code. A coupon code for your next order. Purchase off. Words are coming out of my mouth in not the right order today. And also a little gauge swatch square. Very handy and very cute. Good goodie bag. So again, doing well just out of freebies. What do we have now? Is anybody bored yet? I'm tired. There's not much left, I promise. I also got from Andrea of Woolly Mahoosive some more of this amazing ribbon yarn so that I could finish my cloud rug. This is what it looks like on the roll. I couldn't even think of the word roll last episode when I was trying to describe these. If you didn't watch last time, this is an amazing yarn, believe it or not. It's like stretchy ribbon, crepe on one side, smooth on the other. From Woolly Mahoosive, which I'm making a cloud rug out of. I promise I am making one. So I got 2 more of those. And I got to see all the colours that she had in the rest of her yarn. Oh my goodness, she got some amazing colours. And then finally, yarn-wise, finally, this is a little leaflet for Anna Boo's house. Here's some of the beautiful colours of her hand-dyed yarn. Here's our little logo. I picked up another slightly unusual yarn, which I started making up into something, and it is this. This is sort of a t-shirt yarn in that it's the selvage from the textiles industry, but this is the selvage of a tweed. Isn't it beautiful? Some of the girls I was with were a bit like, the hell is that? Why have you bought that? But yeah, it's just got all its natural kind of, what do we call that, slubs and things in it still. This is like the end of the ball. It looked more impressive when it was wrapped up in a big ball. And I'll put the name of the stand I bought it from below. It was, I can't remember, it was Bobbins and Joe or something like that. And this is what I've currently worked it up as into quite a structural cushion cover. Like cushion cover is my go-to at the moment if I'm not sure what to make. Which I do really like and I think would make a nice addition to my sofa. But I'm just not convinced that it's the best use of the yarn. What do you think? Can you spot the pattern I've used? I love things that are slightly different and unusual, and this yarn fell into that category. There's no stretch to it at all. I might either save this bit and use it in, I'd like to use it in a weaving or something so that you can see more of the pattern, or if you have any thoughts or ideas, let me know. But yeah. So that's it. I've got sock yarn galore. I got another 2K, 2 kilograms from Woolly Mahusive. I got this really unusual tweedy yarn. I got some more tape yarn, and I got goodie bags from some amazing sellers and yarn besties. Oh, I also got more Christmas. These were from Wool Couture. They don't look like much without yarn on them, but the idea is they smell really nice. They kind of smell like Christmas. You weave them up. Look at this little sheep. You weave them up. You thread yarn in them, and you can do sort of stars. They had a little Christmas tree, and they had them on, and they looked really effective, and I thought it would be something quite nice that I could do with my 3-year-old as well. So chunkier yarns and thicker, I mean not quite this level chunky, but kind of super chunky stuff is what they'd used, and it looked really good. So remember these and what they look like now, because they're going to look amazing when they're finished. I think I got 10 in total, little stack. They're obviously like some kind of little laser cuts, but yeah. Has anybody else mentioned the C word yet? No. It's nearly October. It's the last day of September. It's coming, people. Don't fight it. Christmas is coming. I am one of those annoying people who really loves Christmas and getting ready for Christmas. In case you hadn't guessed. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. New things. One last thing that was actually on my shopping list was a blocking board. And for anybody who doesn't know what blocking board is, it's actually a board to block things on, and you can use homemade versions. You can use foam mats, which people use quite a lot. I use the sort of foam interlocking floor mats that are almost designed for children to play on. I've used those for garments and blankets quite successfully, but I wanted a blocking mat that was just for squares, granny squares. I'm making a scrap blanket at the moment, and it's using up all kinds of different scrap yarns, and they're all sort of slightly different. So I wanted to get myself a blocking board, and I'd seen some really nice wooden ones. So that's what I had my eye on, and this is what I have found. It comes with, I've really helpfully left the details of who's made this upstairs, but I'll put it below. It comes with these dowels, and you basically fix the dowels into the wood in whatever size or shape you need, and then you just throw it down across the room. You wet block your squares. I'm just going to try and demonstrate, and yeah, then they block all, in theory, nicely and neatly and squarely for you. You obviously have to stretch the square slightly, which is why there's lots of different holes. I feel like what I'm doing now isn't even in a square. Nobody ever give me a job on Blue Peter or anything where I have to do something live, because, yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's happening, people. It's happening. Are you ready? Ta-da! This is the idea. I think when you put them on, you have to give them a little bit of space. Obviously, they're not going to dry if they're all squished up next to each other. But yeah, that's the idea. I wonder if you could get more than one on. I won't try and demonstrate that on camera right now. But yeah. So, at least I got one thing on my list. I will quickly show you, before we go, my works in progresses. So, everybody remembers the sparkly sock yarn? It's made a perfect rainbow. Like, I didn't plan that. I just chose one of Vicky's patterns that I had, which had contrasting heels and toes. And I obviously knew I was going to get some kind of rainbow effect. So can you see here in the cuff? This has happened because the colours are the colours are in a row, and I've worked rows back and forth, so I knew, I was gonna get some sort of rainbowy effect. But this is just pure fluke, because I'm working in the round, and I could have ended up, if I had a bigger foot or used a larger needle, with sort of like a line of rainbow here, a line of rainbow here, a line of rainbow here, a line of rainbow here. This is just luck that it's ended up sitting all nicely on top of each other. I have a little rainbow sock, which made me so happy when it happened. Like the sort of rainbow universe was smiling on me or something. I mean, this looks terrible right now because I've just done the heel and I'm now turning the heel. I actually had made more progress, but I have to basically decrease on these corners, and I was decreasing on this flat row. I tried to put it on my foot and it didn't work, so I frogged it all back. But yeah, this is the kind of heel here. Doesn't look like much yet, but I was pretty happy with that rainbow and how it had worked up. Crochet socks, I've talked about before. Get a lot of stretch this way, but not nearly as much as you would knitting wise this way. But I still think that if you haven't made crochet socks before, they are worth a go. I enjoy making them anyway. That's one of my whips, and I actually had to have a little bit of a chat with myself about whips because I had what some people call startitis, and it was getting a little bit out of control. And I had watched a few months ago the Crochet Circle podcast with Faye, and I'm pretty sure, I might have got this slightly wrong, but she had a similar issue, and she had lots of whips, or she had bought lots of yarn and lots of patterns, and she decided she needed to do something about it. So what she did was she went and assigned everything a number, and then she almost did a bit of a lottery, and she picked the number out, and whatever number she got, she had to work on it. So I thought, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to do that with mine. And I laid them all out. And when I say I laid them out, I laid out my active whips. I'm sorry, the sun has just come out in full force. I don't know if you can even see me anymore. I have about 6, and actually I forgot the cloud rug, so technically I had 7. I've got my Frank and Olive box jumper, I've got my scrappy blanket, I've got my Liula stole, I've got my mustard cowl. I had this, but I finished that. And I have my socks, and I had another project that I'm sort of working on, which isn't a secret, but it's a kind of design project for some patterns that I would eventually like to make and sell. So that's sort of 7, and that's not counting things that are whips that have like been put to the back of the cupboard. So I did a random number generator, and I said to myself, whichever one comes out, I will work on that one until it's finished. Can you guess, out of all those projects and the various sizes, from sort of quick socks to lengthy blankets, can you guess which one I pulled out the number for? My blanket. So I was dutiful, and last night I worked on it. I finished my rainbow blanket and I worked on some more squares. But now I've set myself this challenge. Does that mean I can't work on my quick socks until I've finished my blanket? And I laid my squares out, and I thought I had quite a few. I need a lot more. So watch this space. I have got my blocking board now, so actually, at least I can block the ones that I have done and maybe start joining them. Last night I made up a few more centres, so I've got a little stack of centres that need so I'm not doing too badly. I've got a stack of centres that need squaring off, and then I've got squares that need blocking. And I wondered if maybe, I don't know if it's a bit of a cheat, but maybe I could do an extra round of white. build up the size a bit quicker? What do you think? Because there's not much space between them at the moment. The only other thing, now I started this as a scrap blanket and I decided I was going to border them in white because I had lots of this ball of white, but it's this white yarn, acrylic yarn I've got is so cheap. It's like painfully scratchy and it's almost putting me off working on this project. The stuff I've got for the centres is a real mix. I've got all sorts of different things in there, from sort of pound shop yarns to Stylecraft to paint box to, you know, some cheaper stuff. But so those are not so bad, but this white is just painful, and I'm thinking, is life too short? Should I just order myself some Stylecraft white or some paint box white and enjoy working with it a bit more? Now that I've set myself the task of finishing this blanket before I work on anything else. Oh, what was I thinking? There's my blanket. The only other whip that is really worth showing you, and again, it's like a few inches since you last saw it, is my Liula. I did do a little bit at Yarndale. I mean, I've done quite a bit, but it's just that it's such a long pattern. It's like 2.5 meters. So actually, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that much, is it? I'm into, can you see I've hit my next colour change. I did a little bit more at Yarndale. I had a couple of glasses of Prosecco. So there's definitely a bit of fudging that's gone on in there. But it's so pretty already. If you haven't seen it before, this is my colourway. This is the cowl being hosted by Emma of Potter and Bloom. Oh look, I'm actually really close to hitting the cream. It goes from pink to green. Try and get it not in direct light. So I've done the darkest pink, moving around into the creamier pink. What am I on at the moment? Oh, 3 strands of cream and 1 strand of pink. There we are. That's the end of my whips. That's the end of my new things. And that's my one finished object, though it's a good one. And what I'm wearing. I haven't mentioned my job. I haven't started. I start on Monday. So if anybody is looking for more info on that, there is none. There is no more info. Yeah, I'm excited. It feels a bit surreal. I worked at my current company for like 7 years. And I actually wrote a little email sort of saying goodbye to everybody and thank you and everything as I left. And in it I wrote, and sometimes you have those moments when you write things out and it hits you. In the last 7 years, I've moved house 3 times, gotten married, have 2 children. And yeah, all that time I've been working for the same company. So that's always been sort of the backdrop and a kind of constant in my life, really. So it's quite a big deal for me to start a new job, and even more exciting that the new job is at Molly Makes. So 2 weeks time, obviously this podcast is going to be separate from what I'm doing at work, all opinions my own, etc, etc, but I'm sure on a personal level I can let you know how it's going, just in terms of starting a new job and being the new girl and changing industries, which I know a couple of you are doing at the moment as well, because I had some really nice messages from people sort of saying, oh, I'm doing the same thing, I'm changing kind of industry and I'm excited but scared. So it's nice to know I'm not alone. Thank you so much for watching. I know this one has been particularly all over the place, but hopefully you enjoyed my yarn haul from Yarndale and seeing a few whips and yeah, one finished object. And yeah, if all else fails, this could just be a sort of snowman installation for Christmas. If it takes me forever to finish my blanket before I can start on any new whips. I really want to start on this. Damn it! Why did I do that little challenge to myself? I might not even stick to it. You can see in 2 weeks' time if I've bothered. Thank you so much for watching. It's lovely to chat to you as ever. If you are part of the Ravelry group, I actually filmed an extra section last time answering some questions from the Ask Me Anything thread, but I cut it from the podcast because the podcast was getting too long. But what I think I might do is post that extra little section where I was answering the questions into the Ravelry group, if I can do that, or I'll put it up on YouTube and link it into the Ravelry group so that you can watch it. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. Bye bye.